your success will change the world. If that statement sounds really crazy to you or you don't believe it, that probably means that you just haven't connected with your authentic self, or you haven't realized your soul mission or why you're on the earth, or you don't understand or haven't really learned yet how things are created. Because, see, when I talk about success, I'm talking about energy. And that energy is you saying, oh, yeah, I matter. My life has made a difference. My life will leave something to the rest of the world. I'm making a difference. I'm contributing in some way. And every single soul, every person born has that ability, but we don't always get there. Our world doesn't get there either. This is why we move through changes in our civilizations, changes in consciousness, because that's all it is. Everything in the world is just energy and consciousness. Every single person has it and can use it, and we use it in a way that will serve us. And if we use it in a correct way, meaning that we're going into the place where we are evolving, where we are expanding, then we are using that energy effectively. And then eventually what happens is the world starts doing that as well. Many years ago, when I started talking about the changes that were happening in the world, I know it was kind of confusing and a lot of people couldn't understand it, but now you can see it because we're moving through it, which we will be doing for, as I've said it, a while longer, at least another year or more. However, when we understand what's happening and we allow ourselves to become successful, then everything changes. The world will be completely different. And you can imagine it if you just think logically about all of this. When I did a workshop a week ago, I said a workshop that will change your life, because I wanted to explain the scientific elements of this big change that we're all moving through, and also the spiritual connection to that, because we do come to understand that as you get older, you start to come to understand that possibly. But as we live our lives, we know that there's something else going on. Even if you don't believe in any kind of religion or God, it's not about that. It's about energy. And all energy is available to all humans, and we will use it. And we know now through sciences that's how everything is created. It's how we create our lives, it's how we create our world. It's by the thoughts we choose to think and the energetic composition of those thoughts. And we each will get that a little differently. And, you know, I started working when I was 15 years old. I'm going to be 73 in a month. And I thought, I'm going to change stuff because I've done everything. I've moved through everything in my life. And so, how I'm going to spend the rest of my life. And the way I'm going to spend the rest of my life is becoming successful in helping to change the world. And I know I can do that in my little way. I'm not going to change all of it. It's not just me, but it's about all the people that I'm working with. And that's what's so thrilling and exciting. What we live in our lives, we are meant to give back to others. That's just how evolution works. We have to acknowledge that we come into the world for a limited time. We don't live forever. And so, when are we going to do the thing that's in front of us that we're meant to do? Because, see, I know everyone has that, which is why a long time ago I started saying I'm a life purpose coach, because I know everyone has that life purpose. But what happens is we get talked out of it. We get programmed into believing something different. And our society has done that as well, which is why we're moving through what I call the restructuring. And the crazy thing was, I wrote it all down. Over 35 years, I wrote it all down, and that's why it changed. Everything is mindset. There's nothing any different for any human than how they use their mindset, how you experience yourself. I'm going to read you one message that came through on September 30th of 2019. Typically, I will use these messages and kind of regurgitate them because, see, we only understand things over time. We're presented with information. You can think about this in the way you learned in school. You're presented information, you decide to look at it, accept it, and maybe you will, believe it and use it then to carry on. Sometimes we just go past it and we don't even see it. We do that all the time. But my guides, my Wilhelm has been very clever because they will put things on dates. They said, please pay attention to the dates. We have to get rid of the linear time thing because that doesn't exist. We know from science that everything is happening in this moment, in the present. The only way we can do anything is operating in this moment of now. But this message is kind of fun. and I didn't use it. It was a fun one too. And if you've come to any of my Wilhelm channeling sessions, you know that a lot of times they have fun because see, we've been through a lot of misery. I've been through more misery than most people, so it's going to be joy for me for the rest of my life now. But this one was great. It said, "Let us be Frank or Joe, Mary or Charlie." Roger asked us to make this fun, so that was our attempt at levity, but it will also help to deliver the point we want to make. First of all, Roger firmly believes that his role on Earth is to bring forth previously forgotten information, while at the same time feeling totally inadequate and disbelieving that he could accomplish this. You all do this. If that were not true, you would have everything you want and would be living the life of your dreams. In actuality, Roger is fulfilling the role you all have. You live in a collective consciousness that continues to evolve through the contributions that you all make. Every contribution is different and unique to your individual lives. The experiences that you each live that seem to be the most challenging are the ones that will bring you the most value and add your contribution to that collective consciousness when you do your part and move through them. Now we will give you Roger's part as he is about to embody it. You all know the notion of ask and it is given, and then it should all come to you. Most of you, like Roger, have not been asking. You do this by denying who you are or what you want for fear of not receiving it. Each of you will feel the truth of that when you are honest with yourselves. Since Roger has operated in this manner, he feels compelled to offer his contribution by aiding others to come to this awareness. And that is absolutely true. And I've always known that. When I did the presentation, I wanted to explain a few other things too, because we all have different personality types, and we must come to understand, though, at some point. Otherwise, we don't live our lives effectively. And mine was moving through really being introverted and being also highly intuitive. I would, again, didn't tell people for years and years that I didn't know I was a mystic. I didn't know I was a sage, and that was what my life was about. But it is, and that's who I've always been. But we're moving through this dynamic change, and so what is going to happen, and you're going to see it continuing. All the energies are changing. We must understand that. We can look at this as being this battle between light and dark, but we have to understand energy. And if we get that, because both things, all things exist within us in our DNA. We have darkness, we have all of that. This is why we do shadow work. This is why we do everything. And this is what I did for more than 35 years. But because we're meant to give everything back to others, that's exactly what I'm doing. And in December of 2021, when I first began with my program, 4 Weeks to Your Best Life, it was a test for me, kind of, because I said, wow, I have discovered, I have created a philosophy, and let me find out what it will do. And then I did it for just the 31 days, and I was blown away because I'm watching people transform quicker than I could possibly have imagined. But see, that's the other thing we don't understand. We are all meant to do that. When we give something back to others, it allows them to then prosper, and move through things much quicker. That's how evolution happens. But in this time in our world, this is a very special time because we've never done this. And so it takes more people coming together, owning who they are, and deciding they're going to become successful. And the big deal is the way you become successful is by becoming happy, prosperous, loving yourself. That's all. But that is the walk that we each must do. And the more that we do that collectively, we see a very, very different world. I shared a channeling session that I did 2 years ago, and it was called a channeling session for light workers and star seeds and all of that. And if you see it, you will see there's a post there that I used. This was 2 years ago because I was reluctant. I didn't want to even talk about it. And it will show you a definition of what a light worker was, someone who's agreed to move through really difficult, challenging things and bring light to the world. And that's obviously who I am, and that's what I will continue to do. It was challenging also, though, to come to this awareness, just like it is for everyone, because we don't know who we can become until we start taking that journey. Then all of a sudden, this magical thing starts to appear, and that is your authentic self. And then you know that you have gotten there because you feel peace. You start loving yourself. You stop hating others. You start practicing forgiveness. You start to see everything in a new life. And that's that fifth dimensional thinking or place that we're all attempting to move through, but we have a little bit of work to do. And that's why it looks really challenging now. So what I'm doing is I thought, we keep doubting ourselves. I brought back my 4 weeks to your best life. So it's open again for this week coming up. But that's going to be it because I have a new team member now. I don't do technology and I can't put things out. And I don't like, marketing. I don't do any of that stuff. So I have a team member now who's going to help me with that, because I have so much information that I'm going to give to others, and especially those who are in my program now, because they've been doing so great, and I've promised them all of this information, and that's what I'm going to do. But then after that, the program's going to be a whole bunch more money. It's going to be a lot more, because when you start to understand your worth and value, you charge more for what you have, and that's what I'm going to build out. But for this week, I'm going to leave some spaces open for those who want to come in. And I definitely want you to check and listen to the results, because there are testimonials out there. I want you to listen to the results, and we'll probably post some with this from those who have done it, because there's something that you probably couldn't have understood. But I created something new, and because it came through the philosophy that I have come to know that I developed, which is called your life operating instructions, meaning that we must let go of all of our old stuff in ourselves individually and the world collectively so that we can create something different. And this philosophy, everything that I've done, has allowed any person to connect with who they are, your soul, your mission, why you are here, your importance, all of those things, because every single person has it. The only difficulty is it's been talked out of us, or we've been programmed to believe something else, and that's the journey of self-discovery. And that's the journey of self-discovery collectively that our world is moving through, moving to that place of oneness where we start to remember that every single person has value and worth. Why would they be born? Why would you have been born? And that's how you become successful, when you can connect to your authentic self. And then we will all change the world.
I haven't done anything like this.
It's increased the confidence that I had in myself.
Everything is better. I mean, every single aspect of my life. My income, the progress is just amazing. Like, you can see changes from week to week.
Introducing your last development program, Life Transformation for Success, the newest part of Roger Burnley's coaching series. In this 3-month online program, you will learn the mindset tools you need to dissolve the shame of your past, discover the gifts within you that make you important to the world, and get the confidence to rise above anything that stands between you and the life that you want.
Everything changed in my life. Everything. Every single thing.
It's time for you to reprogram your mind for success and become self-actualized. If you're ready to transform your life too, learn more at yourlastdevelopmentprogram.com today.